We're angry. We're angry. We're very angry. We're still trying to wrap our minds about how can we, who would, who did, why. They were the most loving people that I ever known. They lived in that area for many years, most caring, and whoever this perpetrator is, he just needs to be. Any information on this maggot that was the individual, we're asking the public, the media, please help us.
Everything imaginable they've lived through, and now we end like this. So this is something that we are taking very seriously, and we want to find who did this.
In today's story, we will be in Fort Lauderdale, a coastal city that's located in Florida, about 30 miles north of Miami along the Atlantic Ocean. Known as the Venice of America, Fort Lauderdale has about 165 miles of inland waterways across the city and is also a popular travel destination. For one family from Virginia, they moved to the sunny city many years ago and settled down in the Melrose Manor neighborhood. The couple, who were a blended family, had a total of 11 kids and would end up with 28 grandchildren. That family from Virginia was Major and Claudette Melvins and their children. By the time 2024 rolled around, the couple had been married for around 60 years, and they also lived in the same house in Florida on the 600 block of Southwest 30th Terrace for 50 years. The pair had definitely found the key to longevity, and both were in their late 80s. As a matter of fact, Major would have turned 90 in December 2024, and I'm sure the family would have had a huge celebration. However, on a spring day in March of 2024, Major and his wife would be ambushed and gunned down tragically in their own home. Naturally, there were so many questions as to who would harm an elderly couple who had been in the community forever. This crime definitely sparked rage, and the beloved couple had no enemies and were said to be very good people. Sadly, sometimes there is someone creeping in the shadows, looking for any chance to ruin other people's lives for their own selfish greed and gain. 89-year-old Major and 85-year-old Claudette Melvins were definitely a match made in history. Their love story started many, many years ago in Virginia around the 1960s era, lasting longer than most. Being married for so long is not common in today's times, and I'm sure they had their fair share of ups and downs over the decades. In spite of it all, they chose each other, and that was the beauty of the good marriage. Sadly, not everyone is so blessed to find their right person so young and then make it to some major mile markers. The Melvins surely set the standard for true love and longevity. Then the couple had 11 children total, so the home was full of fun and good times and probably not a dull moment. What a blessing to be around so long and have true love. The Melvins were also just like old school grandparents as well. They opened their doors, fed people, and helped wherever they could. Though they had many grandchildren over the years, in March of 2024, one of their granddaughters, 38-year-old Jalisa Hill, was living in the home with them. During our time at the home, she was in a relationship with a now 30-year-old Maurice Newsom, and our grandparents welcomed him with open arms. From Maurice's social media, he appeared to be a young man with great respect for his elders too. In November 2023, he even wrote, "It's never easy burying a loved one, especially a parent. I'm glad we were able to celebrate your 80th earlier this year, but you were with me in spirit for my 30th. Sleep in peace. I'll make sure Mom is good. I promise you that." Even though Maurice appeared to be honorable and would look out for his elders, it would not be long before his true colors appeared. It all began on March 22, 2024, when the Melvins were ambushed in their own home, shot and unalive. When the news broke about the elder couple losing their lives to gun crime, the Broward Crime Stoppers offered up a reward for $5,000. While the investigation was in the early stages, the family spoke on some believed details that fateful day. One of the Melvins' daughters said that it appeared that the shooter entered the home through the unlocked front door. Major was on the couch, and he was fatally struck as he tried to get up. Claudette was shot in the chest while rushing to the kitchen. Shell casings were said to be found scattered at the scene, and nothing appeared to be missing inside the residence. However, it was determined that the Melvins' car was stolen from the property, and authorities urged the public to keep an eye out for it at the time. Investigators believe someone, perhaps the same person who unalived them, may have taken the car. The couple owned a red 2014 Ford Fusion, and photos of the car indicated that it had scratches on the left side as well as a sticker and dent on the bumper. 2 months after the unaliving, authorities got their first big lead, finding the couple's stolen car in a tow lot. Maurice then was allegedly identified as the person who sold the vehicle to the tow yard, police claim. And on May 23rd, he was arrested and charged with theft of a motor vehicle and dealing in stolen property. He pled not guilty to those charges and was released on bond a few days later.
Detectives say they were told by family that Maurice had been coming around the home following the homicide, acting strange and asking a lot of questions. Nothing was taken from inside the home except the couple's red Ford Fusion that was parked outside.
What did you want? What were you looking for? You took nothing, but you them.
According to the police report, surveillance video shows a dark-colored sedan pulling up to the couple's home. The driver got out and was inside less than 5 minutes before leaving. Coming back hours later, police say stealing that Ford Fusion. Police say Maurice then sold the Fusion to a tow truck yard in Wilton Manors. This was the text information found in the arrest report. Maurice then met the tow truck driver at this tri-rail station and sold that car for $200. When asked why he was selling, according to the report, Maurice stated he recently purchased the 2012 Ford Fusion and was selling it because he was tired of putting money into the vehicle.
At that point, detectives emphasized they were working diligently to determine if Maurice was involved in the unaliving. His girlfriend, Jalisa, was also interrogated in the case, but it was not clear whether she was considered to be a suspect in the crime. Investigators would end up questioning her and confronting her with paperwork that was uncovered in her room, including a list of property expenses such as pest control and renovations, a warrant revealed. She told detectives that she didn't own a property, but confirmed that the expenses were for her grandparents' house, as she was going to be the one in line to receive the home. More than a month later, she then sat through a polygraph test, which found she was untruthful on the questions of being involved in the demise of her grandparents, Claudette and Major Melvins. In another interview, she also changed her answers on questions she was previously asked and denied being next to inherit the house, according to police. She definitely appeared to be hiding something, and even when the news spoke to her, she did not really seem to care. One of the main reasons the news wanted to talk to her was because after 6 long months, an arrest was finally made. So authorities finally obtained probable cause to take him down on August 27, 2024, and sadly, he would not be the only person who played a part in this unforeseen crime.
30-year-old Maurice Anthony Newson was arrested today, charged with Major and Claudette Melvin, a couple in their 80s, back on March 22nd. He was arrested on May 23rd. This is his mugshot from that arrest. He was charged with theft of a motor vehicle and dealing in stolen property. Ever since, Fort Lauderdale detectives have been working to see if Newson was involved in the murder, and today they made their arrest. The family knows Newson well. At one point, he was in a relationship with the Melvins' granddaughter. We found her outside of her grandparents' home. She didn't have much to say to our camera.
We're with Local 10 News. We heard that an arrest was made in your grandparents' homicide. Do you have any information?
Nope.
You don't know that an arrest was made?
I didn't know.
Well, anything that you'd like to say now that there's finally an arrest made in the homicides?
On September 12, 2024, is when the next arrest came, and 38-year-old Jalisa Hill was charged with 2 counts of first-degree unaliving, police said, just weeks after Maurice Newson was charged with the same offenses, as well as 1 count of robbery with a firearm. Authorities did not say what led them to charge Maurice and Jalisa, only saying that it is believed that they both worked in conjunction with each other to take the grandparents out. Further information released shows that Jalisa allegedly orchestrated the hit and paid $1,000 to Maurice through Zelle to get rid of her grandparents. The whole plot was allegedly to get the house.
Authorities wasted no time either. They presented this case to the grand jury on Wednesday. This woman was in handcuffs yesterday, and again, she was back in court this morning and this afternoon. We were there last night as 34-year-old Jalisa Hill was escorted into the Broward County Jail. This morning,
you're charged with 2 counts of the first degree.
She appeared before a Broward County judge accused of her grandparents.
I don't have no sympathy because at the end of the day, that was my mama that I lost.
Police say Hill worked with her ex to her grandparents. Her arrest report details the conflicting stories she gave detectives about who would inherit her grandparents' home, about her interactions with her ex. It notes how she called the car insurance company to file a claim on the stolen car on behalf of her grandparents days after their death. Never telling the insurance rep, though, that her grandparents were dead. Police say she did, however, ask who the insurance check would be made out to. Police also say that she Zelled her ex $1,000 weeks after
The charges are 2 counts of in the first degree.
Hill was back in court this afternoon, reappearing with a newly hired attorney. She was held without bond. And Dennis Parker's words to his niece:
And if you had anything to do with it, like I said, I want you to rot in hell.
This whole plot is hard to even think about. Her own grandparents who loved her, cared for her, and been there for her. They allowed her to live in their home they had for so many years, and this is how she repays them. I just could not fathom the thought of harming my grandparents no matter what. She seemed to not have a care in the world about the heinous crime she allegedly set in place and was ready to remodel the home. Also, I believe that her mother was on the news before they knew who did it, heartbroken about this terrible crime. Then it was said after everything happened, she was still living in the home and Maurice was still coming around but was acting weird. How could he step foot in the home of the beautiful people he took away is beyond me. All of this goes to show that you can't even trust your own family to do you right. And sadly, people do it all the time to gain insurance money or the house in her case. I'm just glad the authorities continue to investigate to find all allegedly involved in this tragedy. And I pray that full justice be served for all who loved and cared for the Melvins. My thoughts and prayers go out to this family in their still difficult time. Please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.